Hello, in this video we're looking at content trends for 2020. More specifically, we're looking at content that drives visitors to your website, keeps them on your website and informed, and then converts them into leads. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got 7 topics to count down from, so let's get started. So the first trend we're looking at is stories. Now, stories has actually been trending for a little while now with Instagram and Facebook stories, and that's kind of the thing we're talking about here. But this is going to become a lot more popular in 2020, we believe, specifically with the introduction of AMP stories. Now, AMP stories is a project led mainly by Google and others. And it's a story within your website. It's a bit of software that a web developer can install on your website, and you can start to create stories that will rank on Google. Now, we've already created a handful, and you can check those out on our website. And they're very easy and quick to create, and you get very good results from those. So we've got some that are about 14 pages long. It's basically an image or a bit of a video with some text overlaying that. Coming up with that text takes a lot less time than creating a full article, and we already have the images from other content that we're creating. And yet we're ranking very high, and in some cases higher than the articles that are targeting the same keyword. It's very easy, or much easier, to rank a AMP story within Google above perhaps other keywords or other content created within your website. So AMP stories are likely to be very popular in the coming year or two. So watch out for that. The next trend we're going to cover is personalization. Personalization is essentially creating a journey within your website that is super relevant to the person that's visiting. It's personalized to them, and there are many ways of doing this. But to increase the conversion rates, if you can create content that talks about your product or service specifically in their application or in a way that they are looking to have their problems solved, then you are more likely to increase conversion rates. There are many ways of doing this. You can create individual stories or individual journeys throughout your website, and then you can put that forward to them so when they click on it, they take that specific journey. Or you can learn about their journey on your website with a cookie or tracking codes, and you can then tailor the content dynamically by the visitor when they click on with that IP address. You can change the wording, you can change the images within the website dynamically to target those particular visitors. And this is really important within marketing. It's the buzzword. Many of the conferences we've been to over the past year, all about personalization. When you're sending mass emails out, it's about personalizing that content individually to or by company or organization or by market. But by tailoring that content specifically aimed at those people, you're going to have much higher conversion rates because they feel like it's relevant to themselves. Let's talk about user-first content. Also, user-first designs. Now, this is really important to us because we think this is something that most website developers and designers miss. Most of them are focused on creating an amazing design that pleases you as the customer that is buying the website. You'll see this with online builders from Wix, Weebly and Squarespace, where their primary focus here seems to be, how does your website look? Have a website that looks like this. Isn't it cool? Isn't it sophisticated? But they miss out that one key ingredient that makes a website successful, and that is the user-first part. You need to be thinking about the people that are going to visit your website. What information are they going to learn? What questions do they have? What concerns do you need to address? And then if you can answer all of those, if you put your user first and not yourself, then you will see higher conversion rates. It's really quite simple. Don't think about how your content looks and appears. Make sure that it's grabbing the attention of the right people. Make sure that it's informing the right people. Make sure that they are building desire to want to do business with you, and then give them a nice call to action. And if you do that within your user-first content that you're creating, you will see higher conversion rates. And it's for that reason that we think that content or user-first content is going to be a top trend in 2020. It ties in with the personalization, it ties in with stories, it ties in with a lot of the things that we're talking about. But if you focus on user-first content, then you're going to win. Our next trend is one of those that has been trending for many years and will trend for many years ahead, and that's link building. Now, link building is always going to be important because it's a very good indicator of how important and how relevant your information is. The more people that link to it, and specifically people that link to it with a similar interest or a similar goal to yours, the more relevant that your content is going to be. It's a good indicator. But it's very difficult getting linkbacks, particularly high quality linkbacks. So we think one of the top trends for this year is going to be those from testimonials, and you can reach out to your suppliers and ask them to put a testimonial within their website that links to your website, and I think we're going to see a lot more sharing of those testimonials or reviews to help with link building. They're probably a good source of link building information. There have got to be other ways, obviously, of creating linkbacks. Creating good informative articles is very important. Something with infographics in, for example, and key statistics is going to help your content grab the attention of those that may link to it from high-valued domains. So just make sure that you're looking out for all of those link back opportunities in 2020. It's going to continue to be a trend, and hopefully if we can focus more on testimonials and reviews, and you can look and seek for those high value link backs, that's going to help you in the year ahead. Interactive call to actions or gamification. Now, one of the biggest challenges that most people face is getting people's email addresses. And you've most likely thought about the whole download a PDF and a booklet and information, a checklist, and we've got all the information there. Just hand over your email address and we'll send it to you. Now, most people are getting a bit skeptical over this. They know they're going to go into a mailing list campaign of some sort, so it's harder and harder to get people's information. But there is a way of overcoming this with gamification. Now, think if you've read an article and at the bottom there's an interactive quiz asking you about that article, and where you will be ranked, and maybe you might go on a leaderboard, or maybe you'll fill in, you'll get some points or some scores to show you how intelligent you are and what you've taken in. And before we give you the results, can you give us your email address? Now, of course, as I say, it sounds a bit skeptical, and you know what's happening because we're talking about that. But interactivity and gamification within your call to action is likely, or is leading to, an increase in conversion rates, because people want to know how they score. They want to know that they do well. They want those rewards. It helps build that dopamine kick within them that keeps them playing games on their phones all day. And yeah, it just plays on that really vital element of interactivity. And so we're going to see over the next year more interactive call to actions and gamification of call to actions. Short form video content. Now, video content has been trending for a little while now and is becoming more and more popular as it's becoming more and more accessible. However, we think that the biggest trend is going to be in short form video content, so 15-second snippets perhaps. Those videos that end up in stories that we talked about earlier in our trends, and also video that's quick to consume, gets that basic level of information, and they can either click through and learn more, or they can move on to the next thing that they were doing to get their dopamine kick. So it's important, if you're creating short form video content, that you're creating a lot of it. You want to appear as often as possible, because they're not going to be sticking around. They're going to be sliding along to the next person, and then they're going to come back and they're going to keep seeing you within your stories, maybe within your AMP stories in your website. And also remember, TikTok is becoming very popular. Yes, it's very popular amongst young people, but the same was said about Instagram. It's going to become more and more popular as businesses adopt this new platform, creating short form video content that people get their dopamine kick from, and then they slide through to the next. You get a lot of likes, you get a lot of coverage, and hopefully if you're entertaining enough, people will then click through and find out more about your company. Featured snippets or position 0. This is going to be a really hot topic, because most people, when they're creating copy and articles, are trying to rank at the organic position within Google, position 1, 2, or 3. But what's becoming more popular is position 0, and there's a different way of creating content to target this. Now, we've gone into a lot of detail in previous articles, which we will link to. There's a lot of information out there, but it's very different creating content that ranks at position 0 within that featured snippet than it would if you're creating organic content to rank position 1, 2, or 3. Now, a featured snippet essentially is the top position with Google, and it's usually within a grey border a light grey border content, and it's a paragraph or a table or a list of information that answers the search term. So if someone asks Google what is something, then Google will answer that for you, and it usually takes that content out of the featured snippet. Featured snippets are also used within Google to create or give the voice answer that smart speakers are using. So if you ask Google what is, then the answer that it provides is taken from that featured snippet, which could be the content on your website. Websites like Wikipedia do very well from this, and essentially it's a very different way of ranking position 1, 2, and 3. So please check out those articles and think, how do I rank position 0 and get that featured snippet? Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get informed when these videos get posted. Now hopefully you found this informative. We're going to be going into more detail on a lot of the topics that we discussed here, and on some of them we've already covered them in articles, so make sure you look through the description and click on those videos. Make sure you are subscribed to watch more. Thank you very much for watching. Please contact us, get in touch with your questions about your website and your marketing, and we'll hopefully answer them for you. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.